What up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So before I get into what this is that I'm working on, I want to let you guys know that number one, today is the 9th of January 2026. I have some good news and I have some bad news, right? So the bad news is that while trading my second phase of my 10K Alpha Capital Challenge, I somehow failed it trading gold. So I have since deleted gold and silver off of my watch list, and I am solely focused on currency pairs, mainly CAD pairs, and I've incorporated USD pairs in there as well. I may add AUD, but I'm not sure. It just depends. But right now, as a whole, I'll just incorporate all of currency. That means JPY, um, CAD, AUD, NZD, everything except for CHF, because we ain't got to that bridge yet. We ain't crossed that bridge yet. We ain't, that's treacherous. That's a treacherous trail right there. So with that being said, I did, however, pass the 5K officially today. I've done my verification, my KYC. I've been verified for that. And I'm just waiting on them to send me a contract for me to literally sign. I have to sign a contract. And then I have to work on getting a payout to cover the cost of what I paid for the challenge, which was about like 50 bucks. And then we can get to paying off this debt that I've been saying that I've been trying to do since like forever. That is my main focus right now, is to pay off this debt, because Orange Man is trying to take my taxes, and it's just hard out here overall, all across the board for me. And I have to encourage myself and motivate myself through this whole process to say, you know what, I'm not gonna lay down and I'm not gonna give up and I'm not gonna get tired, because I know that trading is going to be um, it's the best decision for me. It's the best option. It's the thing that's going to not get me rich overnight, but it's going to help me pay off this debt. That is the most important thing to me right now, is to not die with debt. I'm in my late 30s. I'm almost 40. I'll say it like that. And I just need something outside of my 9 to 5 to, encourage me to keep going. And that's what trading is. And it's not easy by any means. You guys know that. I failed challenges more than I passed them. But this year, I feel like it was a sign for me to be able to say, okay, there's more for you out here. You don't have to stay at your 9 to 5 job if you do this correctly. So, with that being said, I sat down and I started to just flesh out this idea that I had in my head for the past week. And I was like, you know what? What if, instead of trying to shoot for the moon when it comes to these funded accounts, because that's what I see most people do, they get nervous, or they, don't know what they're trying to aim for in terms of like pips, lots, and stuff like that. People look at stuff differently. Y'all see stuff in percentages. I don't see stuff in percentages. People care about win rates and stuff like that. I care about consistency and payouts. I don't really care about all the extra stuff. That'll come later when I have the time to worry about that. I don't have the time to worry about win rates and RRs and stuff like that. Um, I know that will help you in the long run, but right now, my brain cannot compute that or comprehend that. So I think in lot sizes and pips when it comes to these prop firm challenges. I don't think in stop losses and, you know, um, what do you call it? Just anything with a percentage. I'm not you. I don't look at 1 to 2%. I don't compute that. So I had this idea, and I said, you know what? What if we put everything on the table and we organized it in a way that made sense to us? So I was like, okay, what does that look like? So I was watching a Dan Chung video, and he uses lucid charts. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to figure out how to use this program, and I'm going to see if it works for me. Right now, I think it works. I also was looking at Figma, but I got Photoshop, so I don't, I haven't crossed that bridge yet. But I'm going to take y'all through just a little bit of what I have been working on. And this is for me, and this is the foundation that I'm building, because it's going to help me to be able to basically see where I'm going, right? Because I've said, okay, I restricted myself and said, hey, these are the pairs that I'm trading. These are the lots that I'm trading with. These are the pips that I'm aiming for, etc., etc. So that takes out all the guesswork, right? I see people all the time on here, and they're just picking any lot size, aiming for any pips. But I've learned in the last week or so, especially with this framework or this model that I'm trading, that candles matter. The way they open, the way they close, the way, all of that type of stuff matters. And it also plays a part in how many, in your risk reward, your percentage that you're going to get at the end of your trade. Whether or not you're going to get the whole move or half a move or a quarter of it, an eighth of it, whatever it is that you're shooting for, all of those things matter. So let me take you through what what I'm trying to do here. All right. So let me see if I can I do it like this? Do I have it in a document? I thought I did. I don't have it in my document anymore. Or do I still have it? Let me see. All right, here it is. So when it comes to a prop firm, of course, I'll say it like that. I've had 3 different prop firms, and I've held them for over prop firm challenge accounts, and I've held them for over a year. Now I just lost my Think Capital accounts over something stupid, and it really, really was like, you know what? I'm not gonna trade with them right now because I'm not ready. So basically, I lost my 100K challenge that I was doing because I traded news, and they didn't give me a soft breach. They didn't give me a warning. They just took it and was like, you know what? Yeah, let me just take that back. That money you gave to us, we just gonna keep it. We're not gonna give it back. And it was just like, you know what? I'm gonna wait before I spend the block and come back around and try to avenge myself for that. So I let that go. And then I still have the CX3 trading account that I'm trying to pass. But even with that, I don't really want to mess with it because it has a consistency rule, which I don't do well with consistency rules. But we're just gonna see what happens with it. If I fail it, that's fine. It's okay, right? What I'm focused on right now is this prop firm right here. And I'm focused on it because they don't have as many rules as other prop firms, right? They allow me to trade news, whether I'm funded or whether I'm doing a challenge. It doesn't matter, right? As long as it's not too major, you can do it. They do have add-ons, and this flow chart that I created is going to help me when it comes to picking out my challenges in the future and how much it's going to cost me. That was the main thing, is knowing what my profit targets were at all times and knowing how much it's going to cost me to buy another challenge if I fail it, depending on what add-ons that I choose to go with. So what you see in front of you is a flowchart that I created with all of the Bright funded accounts except for the 10K, with add-ons, all of the add-ons that are available, and it has no promo codes in 2026. So from the top down, it just says that in total it's $4,000 if I chose to buy all of these accounts with all of the add-ons that I like, which is all of them, which is the 100% profit split upon your refund. Well, no, 100% profit split. Your 100% refund upon your payout. Your Instead of getting 80-20 profit split, you get a 90-10. Swap free, so that if I choose to swing it, it won't hurt me. Then there is 7-day payouts, and then there is no minimum trading days because I don't like minimum trading days. I want to get in, get out, get what I need to get, and then get on, right? So with all of that, the cost that you see in front of you is what it's going to cost me if I choose to do all of that with one of these accounts. So with this 5K, it's going to cost me $103. Actually, it's 102, but if you round out to the nearest dollar, it's 103. So I did that with all of these. So if I wanted to buy a 5K with all of the things that I just named, it's going to cost me $103 this is before the promo code. None of these have the promo code accounted for because I don't know what the promo code is going to be from time to time. So with that being said, I just chose to make something that was just like, okay, this is the default cost right now as it stands for all these accounts with all of these add-ons as it is. So then I also put the profit targets for each account because I was tired of having to figure out what my profit target is or trying to figure out, those type of things for each account that I had. So 50K, I kept forgetting, like, what's the profit target? How much do I got to aim for? How much do I got to aim for it? Now I don't have to wonder because it's already right here. I don't have to keep coming back to the website, looking at my dashboard. Like, I don't have to, right? Because I know it's right here. For 50K, it's for the first one, it's 4,000. For the second, it's 2,000. 100K, if I choose to go that route, it's this, that. 200K, that's that, right? Everything is there. Then as we come down, once I get funded, this is the idea that I had. And this may work for some of you it may not. But I feel like since it came to me, I'm going to try it and see, because I feel like when people get funded, and I'm just saying in general, right? I've never been funded on a 100K account. I've never been funded on a 50K account. I've always been funded maybe on a 10K, which is not in here, but and a 5K. But the thing about it is, I see people risking random, lot size. They're risking for random amounts. So I said, you know what, let's just cut the guesswork out of everything and say, you know what, the same thing that we did to pass the challenge, we're going to do in the funded phase. So, especially the first time around, before you get your, like, as you're aiming to get your first payout, I'm aiming to get either the first profit target or the second. I know that I can only lose $250 on 5K. I can only lose $1,200 on a 25K. I can only lose $2,000 on a 50K, and so on and so forth. But how about I just aim for that? I know they're going to take 20% of it, and then I can put some of it back into another account or I can save up for another account, right? So I said, you know what? Let's either aim for the first profit target or the second profit target, or hell, a combination of the two. And then we snowball that into a higher account. Let's just see how that goes. And, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll come back, we'll reevaluate it, and then we'll, take out what doesn't work, and then we'll change things out, put things in, and figure out what works or what doesn't, until we have something that is solid. And right now, I feel like, as it stands, this is solid for me. This is a solid plan as it relates to how I want to go about trading, buying these accounts in 2026. And I like the fact that I did it without a promo code, because I like to know what it is without the discount. I don't know if some of you have gone to the store and you've had coupons and stuff like that. And when you're buying, putting things in your shopping cart, you're thinking about the coupon, right? And your total. And then when you get to the register, you're off by maybe a couple of dollars or a couple of cents or whatever it is, and then you don't have the right amount. So I just said to myself, okay, let's not include the promo code in here, because, like I said, I want to know what it is without the discount. So when I come to the table and buy these accounts, I know exactly what I need to have. That way, when you add on the promo code, promo code, it's like, I have enough. And I'll probably leave with a couple of dollars in my pocket. So yeah, that is the foundation of this particular project. So we're going to start with the 5K, which I've already been funded with. I'm waiting on them to send me my account. Then we're going to roll that into, depending on what my payout is going to be, after 30 days, because that's one of the prerequisites of getting a payout with this particular firm. You have to wait 30 days for your first payout. And then after that, it's 2 weeks, provided that you can keep the account funded, right? So, but once I get that, I have to take money out for taxes. You got to do that. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget taxes, because they're coming for you if you don't know, depending on where you live. But where I live at, they're coming for my taxes, at least 40% of it. So, after taxes, put some of that money back into buying a larger account, whether it be a 25K. If I have to buy 10K, it is what it is. But yeah, that's the plan. That's phase one. That's like the foundation. That's the groundwork we're laying, right? Then, let's see here. I have this that I'm working on right now, and it's basically my roadmap. And it talks about the formula that I'm using to tell me how many pips that I need to aim for per phase of the challenge, which is another thing that I see people doing, is that, like, they will basically just place trades. They don't know what lot size they're going to use. They just started placing trades, and then they aim for whatever. That's not going to be me. I need to be strategic, because I know when you know better, you do better, right? And that's what I'm aiming to do. I know the models that I'm going to use. I'm going to use the fractal model, which should have been first, and then the forever model. And then I put the CRT model, but I probably won't use it at all, because it's pretty much the same things, actually. The pairs that I'm going to trade, of course, CAD pairs and USD-based pairs. I might add AUD pairs and NZD pairs in there, but I don't know, because I don't want to get too bogged down, and I don't want to get too confused with extra pairs. So for right now, at minimum, we're doing Euro and GBP pairs, meaning like Euro CAD, GBP CAD, Euro USD, GBP USD. The AUDs, we might skip those because they don't offer as many pips as the Euro and the GBP pairs do. So, for my profit targets, when we get funded, now this is a funded, right? This is the roadmap for a funded. I'm about to create another roadmap for the prop firm side of it, like just the challenge side of it, because there's two different aspects of this. You have the funded side, and then you have the challenge side. So I'm gonna create a whole nother flow chart for the challenge side. But as it relates to the funded side, it's the same thing that we talked about in the last little picture I showed you guys. We're aiming for the profit targets of the accounts that we got funded on. So like I said, for a 100K, 5% of 100K, or 8% per cycle. 2 to 1 minimum, or 1 to 2, I guess, minimum RR per trade. And then you hold runners to internal range liquidity or external range liquidity, depending on the daily candle. Because sometimes the daily candle, depending on how it opens or closes, will have you, will not expand. It'll reverse or retrace back into the daily open. Or maybe you might get a previous session high or low, right? So you need to be mindful of that. Or at least I do, not you. I'm talking about me when I'm talking. So that is I guess the first kind of phase of the project that I'm working on. So this will come second. This is like the second phase. The challenge part, which I'm going to get into, I'll make later, is going to be the first phase. But it says here that, we're starting with Bright Funding as my main prop firm. And then the formula, like I told you guys, is the phase profit target divided by the pip value per lot. And it gives you the phase pip target, right? So, for example, a 5K with Bright Funded, the phase 1 profit target is for 100. So if you were to do, as it says, a pair like GBP AUD, that would be the profit target. And you divide that by the exchange rate for that particular pair. Now, the exchange rate changes. I did not know that, but it changes all the time. All the time. Not by much, but it changes, right? It doesn't go from like 7 to 5, but in terms of like, it'll be 672 one day, and then it'll be like 670 another day. It just depends. Matter of fact, what is that? It's 672 right now. What is GA right now? That's one thing that I did not. So all I did to figure that out is you go per lot, per pip. Yeah, 670. So it fluctuates. Not by much, but you take that and then you do the same thing. So if I were to do that and calculate for these pairs, which I'm going to do, it will be a little bit different. So that tells me that you take your phase divided by your exchange rate for GA, and you get 60 pips. So in order to pass this 5K, I only need 60 pips. So depending on the type of setup that you're looking for, you can get it in one go, or you can split it up. 30 pips here, 30 pips another day. Phase 1 passed. Then the other one is 250. So, 30 pips here. Or, 15 pips here, 15 pips there. And that's pretty much how I feel like it helps me to pass challenges faster. Because it just, I see it differently than everybody else. I've never seen anybody do it this way. And I think that some things come to certain people because it's meant for them to do. And I think it's meant for me to do it this way. Again, I don't see things in percentages. I see things in equations like this, right? And it helps me to be a better trader. Now, the next thing I need to work on is how to pick the right setups that I'm going to trade from week to week and make it make sense in terms of tying all of this into that particular trade so that I can pass the, first and second phases in more efficient ways and more efficient time frames. So, but yeah, this is, like I said, Lucid Charts. And it, right now, it is It's very good. I like it. Again, shout out to Dan Chung. I was watching his videos and I saw him using it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see how this works. So, you guys be blessed. Take care. Stay tuned for other videos. I really want to do more live trades, but it just depends on how my day goes. I'm going back to work tomorrow, so I don't know. But you guys stay tuned for the weekly analysis for these pairs. And toodles.